activate host mode. Boop. There it is. There it is. I found him.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We hope it is good. Welcome to Geeks Who Like Sports. As always, I am Ray Carcillo in, it's okay, Los Angeles, California. Join the rest of the entire world over in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
I'm not in San Juan, buddy. I'm not in San Juan. I'm in beautiful Aguada, Puerto Rico, on the west side of the island, far away from San Juan. I'm on the West Coast. I'm on my West Coast, Ray. I'm literally broadcasting. I am looking at the ocean. I'm looking at the Caribbean Sea. Look, Ray, I'm going to turn this around for you watching. You can see it out the window. The ocean is right there. Today, my friend, I have the upper hand. I am in sunny, beautiful Puerto Rico in the Caribbean, 89 degrees, might go up to 90. Ray, I'm looking at the weather, 2 o'clock, sunny, 3 o'clock, sunny, 4 o'clock, sunny. Oh, at nighttime, Ray, no sun. But clear skies, beautiful ocean, temperature 78. I'm on vacation and I have my sunglasses on and I'm broadcasting with you. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Why am I on it's because I love you. It's because I love you and I love doing the show. Let me take the glasses off. Just okay. Lighting is perfect here. I don't get to do this often, Ray. But no, I'm in Aguada, Puerto Rico. I've been married long enough to be able to say that with somewhat of an accent that sounds kind of authentic. Actually, I'm hearing it in my own cans here. Ray, how are you? I'm fine. How are you?
I'm all right, buddy. I'm hanging in there. Our forecast is fire, and more fire, then nighttime fire.
Even the sun on my phone looks nice. It looks happy to see it.
Yes. Yeah, look, we technically have sun as well. You can't really see it here, but it's yes, it is very sunny. We're both where we are, which is amazing and phenomenal. You basically are having LA weather minus the fire. So
it's a little better than what LA. I mean, look, like things that we have together. Palm trees, although I probably have a few more. I have the Caribbean Sea, which means the water's warm here and not polluted. And English is not the primary language here.
To be fair, you could argue that English is not the primary language here either.
I knew where you were going to go with that. You didn't disappoint. No, Ray, we're both in beautiful areas right now. I'm down here with my family. It actually worked out. I brought the full podcast set up. Maybe I'll share a picture on the Geeks social media page.
Definitely.
Social media is where you should be. We'll talk about that in a second. But I don't think I can think of look, I love spending time with my family. I really do. You know that. But this is pretty cool. I love doing the show. I love broadcasting by the beach in an air-conditioned room. It's pretty special.
Yeah, that is one heck of a setup. That is definitely a better setup than I have right now, my friend. So whereas I am looking outside at the dump truck and dumpsters in the alleyway behind my apartment complex. So you definitely win on the views today, my friend.
I finally won, and that's it. That's it. Show's over. We did it. Prepare to fast forward. Fast forward.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Anyway, we got a really big show for everybody.
We do
today.
Let's get back to business.
Yes, absolutely. Also, by the way, obviously joking about English not being the primary language, all that stuff. There's somebody out there who's going to take that and they're going to be like, Ray made a bad joke.
You know what? The fact they kind of acknowledge that there's other languages outside of English, I think, is a compliment.
When
people go, just speak English, it's like, you can go after yourself. That's kind of a stupid thing to say to someone.
Yeah, it's very weird.
But we're a culture of many different people, and there is no national language in America. I don't think people know that.
No, they don't. Yeah, exactly. There technically is not.
There is not. The English is not it is the primary language of America, but it's not a national language.
Correct. So look at that. We're a little bit of civics and global politics and all that other stuff mixed in.
Hey, get off the lawn. That's what we sound like to anybody young.
Well, yeah. I mean, even when I'm talking about the young and hip stuff and skibbity toilet and all that other stuff, it still sounds like I'm saying get off the lawn. So
well, you lost them when you just said hip.
Yeah, exactly.
We're closer to hip replacements than that word being in style again.
No cap there, my friend.
You cap it.
Oh goodness! All right, let's get off of this before we continue to
my
show
God.
off.
My son says I'm cringe. This was a cringe moment.
This was a cringe moment.
Ray and
Cringe geeks who like sports. There we go. So anyway, we do have a big show for you today, folks. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Not a lot of sports stuff, a lot more geek stuff, but there's actually a lot more blending as well this week of stuff. But before we get going, we have speaking of Geeks Who Like Sports, we have a non-sponsor sponsor of the week.
Is this a non-sponsor or is this a sponsor of the week?
I mean, it's kind of like we're not getting money, but we did get something pretty cool to give and share with you guys.
The Geek offering of the week.
Yes, the Geek giveaway. It's the Geek giveaway.
It's even better. That's a better word.
Alliteration.
Better
it's the alliteration. So folks, give you a quick heads up. Basically, EA Sports reached out. It's in the game. If it's in the game, it's in the game.
EA Sports.
It's in the game. And was basically like, hey, you guys want to give out some Xbox codes for the deluxe edition, the MVP edition of College Football 25 and Madden NFL 25. One code, 2 games. Because we are in the cusp of football season, both college and obviously pros. We're in the last week of the preseason for the NFL. And yeah, probably next week we'll probably have to do our season predictions for football before we get into the nitty-gritty. Yeah, but Madden or EA Sports was basically like, we've given you guys codes. So we gave one away on TikTok. If you guys haven't been to the Geeks Who Like Sports TikTok page, it's just Geeks Who Like Sports. And we're going to be giving away more. I'm going to be giving one away during my Twitch stream today. But to be entered to that, you obviously got to follow, like, this is going to be beyond that, but like, you got to just follow the Geeks socials. So for the one that we're going to be giving away here on the show, we'll probably, I guess, Instagram message the winner. Probably the easiest way to do it. Follow the Geeks socials accounts. You want to be entered to win? Follow the Geeks socials. Comment on our most recent videos. Like the most recent videos. And you will be entered to win a copy for Xbox Series X/S, Madden NFL 25, and College Football 25. We will let you know the winner will be announced. We will DM the winner after the weekend. We will also mention them on next week's episode. But guys, we're giving you video games. We got video games to give to you. Go follow our socials. Enter a win.
Let me do it. Let me do it.
Yes, you do it.
Let me do it in the what's it called? The monster truck way. All right. Right? You know, Sunday, right?
Yeah.
We're giving away Madden football games to you from EA Sports. We've got codes. You want the codes, and all you got to do is the traditional follow. Go to all of our social media accounts, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you find us. We're going to be giving away Madden NFL Football 24 to you. All you got to do is follow us, comment. You know the deal. Get yourself a copy of Madden, courtesy of the cringy geeks who like sports.
Yes. So there you go. Lee said it way better than I did.
Sunday.
Yes.
Is my mic going out when I do that?
No, it sounded good. It sounded good over here. But no, seriously, folks, go follow.
I gotta give Sabi the micro clip. That's why I did that.
No. Follow the socials. Comment on the videos. Comment on the most recent videos. Be entered to win. We will let you know.
Friends.
Yeah, tell your friends. We will announce on the next week's episode the winner, but we'll also DM you privately. This way you can start playing as soon as you want. We'll give you the code and whatnot.
It's time.
Yes. Yeah, we were congratulations, by the way, to Moody on TikTok, who got the win yesterday for the first code that we gave away. And then again, this will happen after the fact. If you're listening after the fact, it will already be given away, but I'm giving away another one today on my Twitch and the Geeks YouTube. So that'll be.
No, Sabi gets these episodes up pretty quick. So if you're one of those early listeners, it's probably still available.
That's true.
If not, go to our YouTube and Instagram. Follow, darn it. We'll give them that.
Yeah, follow, like it. Yeah. Again, there's one code specifically be giving away through the episode. We are going to let this breathe a little bit, so you still have a chance to win. If you're not following us on all our socials and you're not following me on Twitch and TikTok, and obviously just haven't been paying attention to the world of Geeks Who Like Sports, but get involved, join the community. We have a good time usually. So, okay, moving on. Oh, goodness gracious. Lee, I'm tired.
It's okay, right? It's okay to be tired.
Yeah. You know who else is saying that he's kind of tired?
Who?
Sam Rosen.
Yes. It's a power play goal.
Yes, for one more season. We will have one more season of it's a power play goal. As Sam Rosen, the Rangers' longtime play-by-play man, you know, obviously 1994. This will last a generation, and so far it has.
It's very true. This one will last a lifetime.
Yeah, it's Sam Rosen, after 40 years, says that this will be his last year as the Ranger broadcaster. He's 78 years old. He's going to retire, and good on him. And obviously, for many of us, he is the voice of the Rangers. He will always be the voice of the Rangers, at least in the TV side of things. But yeah, I'm curious to see what happens. I'm curious to see who takes over. Maybe Kenny Albert goes from radio to TV. He'd have the experience, obviously. And then maybe Don LaGreca takes over full time on the radio side. Be interesting to see what the Rangers do going forward. I'm also available, Rangers. I'm set when the most time the puck drops at 7 p.m. I'm a night owl. That fits very much more in with my schedule than doing afternoon or morning broadcasts. So definitely, if you're looking, Ranger fans and Ranger, I know I've been very critical of you, James Dolan, but I'll throw it all out the window if you let me be the Rangers play-by-play guy. Just saying. Just saying.
You inviting me into this operation, Ray? Or
well, yeah, I mean, you'd be the color. I mean, you'd be the color guy. Obviously, I gotta get in there first. Like, I mean, like, I can't just like we are a package deal, James Dolan.
We've done it before, you and I. No, listen, yes. Sam Rosen. First off, great voice, great for broadcasting. Right up there with Doc Emmerich in a lot of ways, not just location, but his ability to call a game. He's a pretty iconic voice. Has done some football in the past as well. A lot of people don't realize these sportscasters do go between sports from time to time. But look, it's time. I think he knows the Rangers are on the back end of their window to win the Stanley Cup. All right. It's very hard to win. Maybe he's thinking that might give him a boost, which is not unheard of before. You got to win it for Sam. They've also got several people, as you mentioned, in the wings that can take over that job. It's never the same. It's never the same, but it's a tremendous career. And I think, he's getting up there in years. He's got to be in his 70s now.
He's 78. He's 78.
Yeah. It's close to 80. I mean, he's ready to retire and live some of the rest of his days down here in Aguada, Puerto Rico with me, watching hockey from the beach. The other thing too, I heard today, Ray, not to transition out of this too quickly, but I heard that a Yankees play-by-play man might be coming out of retirement to do the playoffs. I just saw an article that said Mr. Sterling ready to come back to do the 2024 postseason for the Yankees.
Well, he's probably heard how they tried to replace him and been like, oh my God, I left them in such a bad spot. They have nobody. They all stink. And it's true. Everybody they put on the radio since Sterling has stepped away, from Craig Carton, who used to be with Boomer Esiason in the mornings, then went to jail because he had a horrible. It's the truth. He went to jail. He went to jail for a year for gambling and insider trading and all that other stuff.
It's just the way you said it. Then they went to jail.
Yeah. Then he came back, and now he's got an afternoon show. They put him on the Yankees because remember the Yankee radio broadcasts are on WFAN. So obviously the Yankees have a very heavy say on who becomes the play-by-play man. But at the end of the day, WFAN has to sign off on it because they are technically a WFAN employee and not a Yankee employee. So WFAN has basically been cycling all their radio hosts, and all that shows is how horrible all their radio hosts are, because like everybody they put in there is not only a terrible radio host, and they are. WFAN is a shell of what it used to be, folks. If you grew up in the New York area, it's a long way from Mike and the Mad Dog era, right? And every clown they put on the radio, the fans are like, oh God, this is awful. So yeah, John Sterling, please come back for the playoffs.
Save us.
Save the Yankees for the playoffs. Do the
Yankees win.
Yeah.
Yankees win. I'm not a Yankees fan. I still enjoy that. But yeah, Sam Rosen, final season with the Rangers should be a good one. I'm glad he announced it so he can kind of do his farewell tour. You notice a lot of people do that now. These guys are really humble people. It's really hard for them to say that, but it's great advice people give them. Hey, say you're going to retire, so people know this is your last run. You just saw John Cena do it in wrestling.
Yes.
You give these guys their flowers, a new phrase that I think is a pretty good phrase. But you get to do it, and he gets to tour the entire NHL now and say his goodbyes, right? It's good stuff.
No, exactly. He'll go with them wherever he can, whenever he can. And again, a great run. Think about it. He started at 38
Fantastic. Yeah.
and he went to 78 as the Rangers play-by-play man. So unbelievable career, an
Literally
all-time
been
legend.
doing it longer than we've been alive.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That is true. Actually, you were
we don't have to
alive.
go there. We don't have to.
You were alive. I wasn't alive when he started.
Was I though?
Yes, because
I was born during his first season. Let's just say that.
Yes, there you go. That's right. He had been doing it for a couple of months, and then you were born.
Yeah, I don't feel so bad about it.
There you go. So technically correct. So I guess the theme today is cringe, because moving into our next story, the Mets.
Oh my goodness, Mets! What were you thinking? This is the most Met move you could have made. What we're about to talk about might be the most Met thing that could have happened.
So the Mets, desperate again. The team started to lose again, as we expected they would, as we said they would. Desperate to capture some of that kind of grimace magic they had earlier in the year, and hoping that
it wasn't magic. It wasn't magic. It's Mets logic that it was grimace. You guys are so desperate for anything.
Yes. So they reached out to, Mike Francesa said it on his podcast perfectly. He's like, the Mets reached out for someone in the middle of their 15 minutes of fame. This is nothing against her, but she's in the middle of her 15 minutes of fame. But for what she's famous for,
15 months of fame, 15 weeks of fame.
Yeah, but it's so basically the Mets had to hawk to a girl throw out the first pitch. I mean, and good on her. Look, she
has a name, Ray. It's Haley something, because that's as far as I get.
I didn't even know that. So she's just the hawk to a girl. So
Mets. Can you imagine being a dad at that stadium with maybe a 6-year-old being, Dad, who's that?
Yeah.
How do you explain that to your kid? Well, I don't know who it is. Son.
Well, and that's the big thing, is that especially because it was an afternoon game and it was camp day, so that means all the local camps around the New York City area, which means it was more kids than even normal at a Mets game.
Yeah.
It was just a bad look. It wasn't their sharpest.
Some executive was like, what would be really funny if we got her for that day? And they do it. I've been in these rooms where these conversations happen, and there are some really bad ideas that get put across, that get green lit, Ray, because nobody's got the guts to stand up and say that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Like the time I was working at, I'll just say a place that's a very most famous World's Arena, and someone's like, we should do a fake proposal where the girl says no on Valentine's Day. And I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. It'll be hilarious. Nobody laughed. Everybody was like, oh my God, that's horrible. I was like, why did we do that on Valentine's Day?
And by the way,
it'll be funny.
They're still doing that. That actually just happened this last week during the Chargers preseason game.
I couldn't believe it.
Where not only did the person say no, and by the way, you can also tell that like desperate out of work LA actor, right? Because you can see why they're out of work, because it was awful. You could tell immediately this was staged. Totally. And then a lady dropped nachos on him to escalate it, and it was just like, what are you doing, guys?
It's not.
What are you doing?
I never understood the attraction of that. Why that would be fun. People love actual proposals.
Yeah.
Makes them feel good. I don't know why people do that.
I will also say, though, I have seen once where somebody did legitimately say no, like it was legit no. You're really taking a risk doing a proposal in public like that.
The only way I would propose to my wife, future wife, or anybody for that matter, at a game is if they had said, you know what I'd really love if you'd propose to me at the game, which by the way, very few people say. The proposal should be about the other person and maybe something you share, not something you love. So all you people out there in hockey world are like, I want to propose at center ice. That's probably more for you than them. Now, if your partner is a lifelong hockey fan and they spend all their time there and they love it there and they go like, I'd love to get proposed to right there. Yeah, go for it. It's a good, that your odds are in your favor.
Right.
All right. My wife, you know what, Ray? I knew she loves her family tremendously. I proposed in front of her family. That was a risk. Felt pretty confident about it.
Right.
Especially when all of her family was like, that's a great idea. I was like, oh, good. If she says no, this is going to be really, really awkward. Just being there like, hey, so I want to thank everybody for your participation. I'll never see you again.
Yes.
Howdy ho.
All's well that ended well, though. All's well that ended well. Thankfully, Janet said yes.
She said yes, and now I'm sitting in Puerto Rico looking at a beach right now. Yeah, I think it worked out. See, people, that's how it works.
Yes, no, absolutely. Yeah. So, but yeah, anyway, back to the topic at hand. Mets, you're so desperate. You're so desperate, and it's so sad. Mets, by the way, still, I think 2 games out of a wild card as we speak. Still chasing the Braves. They can't seem to get in the ground. Although I'll thank the Mets. They took 2 or 3
Braves, by the way. The completely heavily hurt on crutches Braves.
The Braves are limping into that last playoff spot. Like, the thing is, the Mets might get it just because the injuries might finally catch up to Atlanta. But you have to understand that 20% of Atlanta's starting roster, their third baseman, 2 of their starting pitchers, like everybody is hurt. Their star outfield, the MVP outfielder, Ronald Acuna, everybody, Ozzie Albies, literally a third of their lineup and half their pitching rotation is hurt, and they're still holding the Mets off from the last wild card, at least as of now. So,
yes.
Anyway, and the Phillies are running away with the division with a 7-game lead. So.
Yeah, they seem to have found their footing again. They went through that horrible July, and then they started kind of sputting around 500, and then Schwarber hit a grand slam, and ever since then we've seemed to be winning games again. Seem to be found our bats, found our pose, which is exactly what I said. Look, July is the right time to go through a slump if you're in the position the Phillies are in. You don't want to go through it in October. Funny moment, by the way, in last night's Phillies game, Arcia. So Ray, I have this picture in my office of Bryce Harper staring down Arcia after he made fun of him last season. Right. So last night Arcia hit a home run, and as he was rounding the bases, he was staring at Harper, and they asked Harper after the game about it. He goes, I didn't even notice that. He goes, that was last year. I did it already. Yeah. It was the ultimate mic drop. He's like, what are you doing? I said, that's old news.
Yeah.
That's Bryce Harper for you. He's like, I don't care. But guys, I don't know when you're going to realize this. It's not smart to piss off Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Just not smart.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a good, dude is looking for the motivation, right? Like, he's like Jordan. Like, it's like, just give me a reason.
Don't give guys like that a reason. He's not the only athlete like that, but you don't want to give that guy a reason, especially when the Phillies are in first place.
Yeah, when you're chasing them and you're still 7 back. So,
I wouldn't say we're running away with it. I would say we're in position to do that, though. Yes,
absolutely. This past weekend in baseball was Players Weekend. A lot of folks used some special bats. Jackson Merrill of the Padres used a glow-in-the-dark lightsaber bat, which was brilliant. Also, there was some Pablo Escobar bats from Backyard Sports. And the reason why I mention that is that wisely, the folks who own the rights to Backyard Sports now have announced they are bringing back backyard baseball and football. It is in development. They put together a trailer. Expect that in the next couple of years. That's a big deal. This is a big deal. This was a family-friendly, great entryway into sports, and like a lot of current players and those of us who are just in games love this series, and it's coming back. There were rumors months ago that the Kelceys might get involved, that Jason Kelce was looking to see who had the rights. Somebody already had the rights. Give him a job. Like, Jason, we were saying, Jason Kelce, if you want to start a video game company, us package deal again. Us. That's if James Nolan doesn't want us for the Rangers. But anyway, Backyard Sports is back, Lee, officially dropped their first trailer right after Players Weekend when they were using the Pablo Escobar bats.
You're bringing up Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce. I believe Lee Elias and Ray Carso have been talking about this for several years, Ray, about that this game needs to come back. Remember countless hours staying at my PC personal computer at home with a disk drive and CD-ROM playing this game because it was so fun. Look, in a lot of ways, it doesn't predate the show, or MLB baseball as a video game, but you're right, it did introduce us to it a lot, and it's great because it's the actual players as kids. The banter in the game is really fun, and it's just a great way. Like, I'd rather play that with my kids than the show at their age. You know what I mean?
For sure. Absolutely.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's a great entry way for folks to get into these particular sports. And I think
it can also get competitive too, which is what I like.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Because if you're not ready to go to the full simulation that is the show or Madden, then this is a great arcadey in between option.
Well, here's the other thing too. Like if my daughter wants to play, there's girls in this game, right? Playing baseball.
Yes.
So it's great.
Although they have girls now, you can make a girl now in the show as well, and you can have her go through the minors and major leagues, actually.
That's pretty cool too. Did not know that.
Yes, this year they added, and they actually even featured was it Tony Stone and some actual women who actually played in the Negro leagues.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, see, there were women in baseball, and then kind of just was like, stop that. Yeah. They just kind of shoved that under the rug for a little bit. And that's
enough of that.
Yeah. But it could happen again. If there was any sport that I think the women could compete with the men, it would be baseball, I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I think baseball.
I think especially as a pitcher, if a woman could throw, I could see a woman having a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. If she dots it in the right spot, she can get people out.
Yeah, right. I could see in baseball. I could see it in goaltending.
Sure, absolutely. Goalie. We've seen goalies in hockey. Absolutely, yeah.
But I'd say any sport with a goalie, really, right? If you have the skill, you have the skill. I'd be interested to see basketball at this point.
That would be fascinating to see the WNBA players versus the NBA players. I mean, I think there is still a physicalness to that.
Maybe,
but obviously, I think that the men in general are still taller than the women, even though they're all very tall and taller than me. But
I'd be interested to see how the top WNBA players would fare against NBA talent.
I think the NBA talent would probably dominate.
Maybe. Listen, I'm just saying I'd be interested to see at this point.
Oh yeah, it'd be fun to see. It'd be fun to see as an exhibition and whatnot. Battle of the sexes that goes all the way back to what Billie Jean King way back in the day in tennis, right?
Yeah. I'm not necessarily saying it's like women versus men. I'm just saying if you inserted, we'll just use Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese right now into a team and play the right way. I think they could probably hold their own.
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
that would be
now
interesting.
Women versus men. I don't believe that would be close, but that's not the point. I'm just saying I think that some could be inserted into that and play well.
That's an interesting thought, an interesting discussion. But we're going back. We mentioned sports video games. We mentioned Madden earlier. Kind of transitioning into a mix now. This is a good transitional topic for Geekdom and Sportsdom. It has been announced that Nicolas Cage is going to play John Madden in a biopic about obviously John Madden, his rise to leading to the Raiders to win Super Bowl 11 against the Vikings. Lee, I like Nicolas Cage. I really like John Madden. I just don't see this one, though. What are your thoughts?
I think we need to know. Someone needs to interview Nicolas Cage and be like, Nick, be honest, is this one of those cash grab films for you, or are you actually really trying to do this the right way? Because when you're on your game, you're pretty on your game.
Yeah.
But you've also made more movies than anyone ever lived. So it's one of those things. We know this, that Nick Cage takes paychecks. He's happy taking paychecks to be in movies. He's always been upfront about that.
Yeah.
But look, here's my question. Is this going to be a linear from young kid to Madden Disney type film? If it is, he'll be fine. I mean, but if it's a deeper film about John Madden, I don't know. But I think you and I both know, Ray, yes, there would be a lot of questions marks around this one for both of us, but we don't judge until the final product comes out. I know you're a big proponent of that. He might be able to pull this off. John Madden looked very different in the 1970s. So
absolutely. We'll
see what happens. We all remember him as the white-haired guy in the suit. When he's coaching the Raiders, he looked a little different.
Sure, but the thing is I always think of John Madden, even in his younger days, as a stockier guy, right? Because you remember, for those who don't know this, John Madden was an offensive tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles. He blew out his knee in the preseason of his rookie year and never played a snap, and then immediately went into the coaching because back in the 60s, right, we didn't have the rehab and the recovery that we do today. So you blow out your knee in the 60s, that's it. Your career is it's done. That's it. You're done. Right. And so that's what happened. And then he got into coaching and obviously rose through the ranks of the Raiders and really kind of helped establish the Raiders as a dominant franchise, losing a couple of times to the Steelers and their playoff runs with Terry Bradshaw, and then finally overcoming it all and winning Super Bowl 11 again over the Vikings, one of their 4 Super Bowl losses. But that's the thing. I just don't see tall, lanky Nicolas Cage unless they put him in like a suit or something, like kind of just carrying the weight and the having the he has the presence of a John Madden, but I don't know. I'm curious. We'll see.
He's an actor. He's got to act. Nicolas Cage is not as young as I think we remember.
No, he's not. I don't know if
interesting too.
Did you see the unbearable weight of immense talent? I think it was.
I've seen many of the clips, and it's like, oh man, that's not 1990s Nick Cage anymore.
No, he definitely looks old in that one for sure.
Yeah.
Also, not a great film. Sorry, I thought it was very.
You said that, that they showed all the scenes online and in the theaters.
Yeah, the best.
I can actually say this now. This is the perfect show. Deadpool. A lot of clips have leaked. Still doesn't ruin the movie. The movie is that good. The clips are fun, but you want to see more every time.
Yeah, perfect the unbearable weight
10
of
out of 9.
Unbearable weight of immense talent. Yeah, that was not great.
Who would you pick to play John Madden if you could pick someone, if not him? That's the other problem.
Well, I mean, there's obviously you have impressionists like a Frank Caliendo who also has the stockier build.
Yeah, but he couldn't do a film.
Probably not. No, not a full movie, because that's the thing. He's such an impressionist that it is a caricature, right? So I don't know. I'll play John Madden. I
think you could pull it off.
I'll do it.
Boom! Tough acting to acting.
Yeah. Oh, you see here, the guard kicks out, and then you got a hole you can drive a Mack truck through. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, for those of you, if you are a little younger, John Madden had this amazing knack. We used to make fun of him of just saying exactly what everyone would see. You see, there's a football there. It's in his hands. He's running through the line. He gets to the end zone. That's called a touchdown. It's like there's no analytical.
So with the beauty of the turducken is they take the chicken, they stick it in the duck, and then they stick the duck stuffed chicken into the turkey. And then you got the chicken legs. So you got chicken legs here, you got duck legs here, and then you got the turkey legs here.
Turducken.
It's a turducken.
That was his thing.
Yeah.
No, he was always excited about that. And now that he's gone, we all miss him terribly.
Yes. 100%. Oh, goodness. So speaking of things that people shouldn't watch, are
we transitioning here?
We are transitioning into the Geek section. Fully, yes.
Let's turn to Geeks. Okay, we're Geeks now.
If you're really paying close attention, nothing really changed because we're always geeks.
I don't know what you're saying. I'm a geek now.
We are geeks who like sports.
Yes.
We all know this. Everybody who watches the show knows this. I love Batman. Always love Batman. So I am particularly critical of Batman related stuff. If it's great, I will sing its praises forever, i.e. the Batman Arkham games. Well, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City.
Yes,
not Origins and Night. Batman Animated Series. Batman 89. Yeah, the Christian Bale, the first 2 Christian Bale Batmans. I will even sing the praises of Adam West Batman because
I didn't have a problem with the third Bale Batman. Did you?
I didn't have a problem with it, but it was not. I felt it was not nearly as good as the first 2.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. And so they have made a new Batman cartoon with the likes of Bruce Timm, who of course was behind Batman Animated Series, and also Matt Reeves, who was behind Emo Battinson. The Batman, as he puts it. So I binged Batman the Caped Crusader, which is a new show on Amazon Prime, because they saved it from another one of Zaslav's tax cuts, butcher fests. And this show has issues. If you're a Batman fan, this show has immense issues. I've talked to a lot of friends of mine who they can't get through the full season. I have people who've stopped after episode 3. I have friends who have stopped after episode 5. Like, I binged it, and it got painful. I binged it for the sake of Geeks Who Like Sports to tell you, don't watch this show overall, because there are bright spots, but you can tell when Matt Reeves had creative control. You can tell when Bruce Timm had creative control. You can tell, and it's just this weird mesh of ideas and themes, and just it's inconsistent in its storytelling. Like, I'm going to get into spoilers here, folks. Spoilers. If you haven't watched it yet, the show has been out for 2 weeks. It is fully bingeable.
If I may, Ray, savers. Ray is going to spoil this to save you from having to watch it. These are Geeks Who Like Sports savers for Batman, the next crap.
Yes. So, I mean, starting with the first episode, which has the penguin in it. Now, a lot of people got up in arms because they did a gender bend on the penguin. It's a female penguin.
We didn't care about that.
I had no issue with it. I think Minnie Driver did a great job. In fact, I actually kind of liked what they did, where they made her like a lounge singer on the ice. She owns the Iceberg Lounge. She's also the main act on the Iceberg Lounge. They also kind of flipped it, whereas like the penguin was like a short, doddering like old man, where she's actually kind of like a big hulking woman. Is actually kind of like actually still physically intimidating for Batman. I thought that was an interesting take on it. But that wasn't the problem. That was not the problem.
Yeah.
The problem was they gave her 2 children, 2 sons. Her 2 main henchmen are her sons, and then she kills one.
Oh no!
Just because just to show how ruthless she is.
She killed her own kid in the show.
Yes.
Oh my god! I already don't want to watch it.
And that's the thing, is like, I get what they're trying to do there. They're trying to show how ruthless she is. But the fact that she raised these 2 kids basically to young adulthood, and then you just killed one off just because, it didn't make sense. You should have just had them be 2 generic thugs. And then, yeah, the one screws up or whatever, and then bang. Yeah, that's still pretty ruthless, guys. Like, it just made no sense. It just landed. It was just a weird tonal moment where she kills her own kid.
Look, let's just talk about a moment in Batman that got this right. Right? Batman 89, the lead henchman's name, Ray.
Bob the Goon.
Bob the Goon. And we all kind of liked Bob. I mean, if you watch this film, you like the Joker a little bit, you like Bob. And then, I guess, spoiler alert,
at the very right before the final sequence at the Citadel.
Yeah, the only guy that probably would have saved him, the Joker kills.
Yeah,
but really no good reason.
No,
that was shocking as a child.
It's still shocking, but that's the Joker,
Bob's
right?
Gun, right?
Bang. That's it.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah,
I remember his name, kind of Bob.
Bob the Goon, he had his own action figure.
He did.
He was such an integral part to the film. He got his own action figure.
That's how you do it correctly. But if Bob was the Joker's son, that would have hit a little bit differently.
That would have been really weird.
Yeah. In fact, the movie would have done very badly if they had done that.
Yeah, that would have not tested well. They would have cut that out. So again, right off the bat, that's the first episode. And you're kind of just like, okay. All right. And by the way, I like the aesthetic. I like the art. Like, I thought the voice acting was actually great throughout. But again, just the writing was really weird. Catwoman episode. Very classic take on Catwoman. She's a debutante, in Gotham, but she's gotten into a lot of financial troubles. So she turns to a life of petty crime, right? She starts stealing jewelry, all this other stuff. She has no money, though. She's literally living in the slums, but she's taking inspiration from Batman. It's actually interesting to see. She gets caught, she gets away, she gets caught, but she's taking inspiration from Batman in certain things. So she goes to she has almost like a Michelle Pfeiffer moment where she finds cloth and she puts together her own costume and all this other stuff. Even though it ends up looking very much like the 60s Catwoman. Like, it's not like the Michelle Pfeiffer stitched together Catwoman. It's very much like the drawn that way, like the 60s Catwoman.
Right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, she's like, She's like, I'm going to get myself a new car. You have no money. How did you? She gets herself a new car. She makes herself a Catmobile. And it's all tricked out like the Batmobile. And I'm like,
the Catmobile.
How did that happen? And then also out of nowhere, and this is where it's like the show tries very hard to be gritty and in 40s and very much like the original Batman comics, like in the late 30s and 40s. And then Batman and Catwoman are fighting in the final confrontation. And then she's like, I brought someone for you to play with, Batman. And a Black Panther comes out of nowhere. Just to, like, she got it from the zoo, I guess. I don't know. Like, it just out of nowhere. And it's, again, you go from this really gritty detective story, this really gritty noir, crime story. And then you jump into like the 60s camp. I'm fine with the 60s camp. I love the 60s camp.
You do. You really do.
But with the whole, again, this is like like Batman and the Brave and the Bold. I love Batman the Brave and the Bold as a cartoon because it's consistent in its tone throughout. You gritty, campy. You can't do that.
No.
It's a weird shift in tone and it rubs people the wrong way.
This is also a time period, Ray, excuse me, where when we were kids, I think you could get away with that stuff a little bit. But I think audiences have changed a little bit. We expect some continuity. You expect some explanation. Not all the time. And I think the art of picking those moments is actually really hard for people. Oh, no, she's Catwoman. She can tame cats. Well, I mean, yes and no, right? If you just introduce a panther that wasn't her pet before, it's kind of weird. There needs to be a little bit. Now, here's the thing. Again, when we were growing up, everything was episodic. Every episode was kind of its own little story.
Yeah.
And I think you could get away with things like that. But TV today is not like that. It's very rare. I've seen very few shows that are episodic like that. And even the ones that do seem to have a string connected to them throughout the season where there's something larger at play and they're going through these events to get to that end note. So we expect a little bit of continuity now. I think this is one of those things where people blame Marvel for this, but what they did the first 10 years getting to Endgame was brilliant. Everything was connected, so people expect that. So if you're going to put out something with Batman, you need to connect. This was our problem with the Justice League films. Nothing was connected. It made no sense that all of a sudden these people came together, right? So I don't know if it's a larger, DC problem or not, but you have to have some continuity. You can't just skip around. Especially with a character, it just shows you they don't know what they're doing over there.
Well, and again, that's the thing. And again, it's an inconsistency in tone and it's an inconsistency in writing. And it's like,
but they're making money, so they don't care.
No, and that's the problem. I mean, look, because there is actually a really interesting through line. The whole season is actually leading to Harvey Dent becoming Two-Face in the last 2 episodes. Right, which again, we've seen 100 times already. Yeah, but they do a nice job of it. They sprinkle it through or whatever, and like Harvey Dent, he's a DA, he's running for mayor. I'll say this: I love some of the things they did. I love Renee Montoya in this. I love they made Barbara Gordon a public defender. She's not like a kid, like she's a public defender, and her dad's the commissioner. And like it's interesting because sometimes they come into conflict because Commissioner Gordon is obviously helping to arrest the criminals, and then they get assigned the public defender who's his daughter who's trying to get them off, and sometimes she does and sometimes she doesn't. And like there were some interesting ideas in this show, and it just felt like, God, they got so close.
Yeah, well, that's what's consistent. Yes. When we get to the Acolyte later, that's what's consistent in these things. It's like there's a lot of great ideas that for some reason not explored. I feel like they explore the wrong ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, look, I'll fully admit this too, man. When you're working in that production room, look, it's tough because no matter what decision you make, you're going to upset some people.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, I don't know anybody that's upset at Infinity War or Endgame, or some of these other decisions that were made during that era. So it can be done.
Yes.
A Deadpool and Wolverine is a perfect example, actually, where you can go as crazy as you want with that character. And they still managed to figure it out. There was nothing stupid in that film to me. And the film was stupid, if you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing, again, like, they kill off way too many villains by the end of the season. By the end of the season, Two-Face is dead. Firefly is dead. Like,
so they spend the whole season getting him to Two-Face, and then he dies.
And then they kill him in the last episode. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. No, I know.
The Joker cannot win.
Yeah. Oh, and then by the way, and then of course the very last scene sees the teaser at the last post-credit scene of the last episode is the Joker basically testing his Smilex gas for the first time on potential victims. And it's just like, you killed off like half of Batman's rogues gallery. I'll even say this. They even have Harley Quinn. They introduce her and they have her be separate from the Joker.
Yeah.
The first half of the episode, they built up Harley Quinn earlier in the season as Harleen Quinzel, so that then it makes so much more, it makes her turn into Harley Quinn that much more powerful. And then they basically kill her too. They tease that she survived, but they do this. It is one of the dumbest sequences I've ever seen in a cartoon. Okay, basically at the end, Batman gets to Harley Quinn's hideout. She's basically brainwashed all these victims, right? She's used her psychotherapy to brainwash the richest people in Gotham to give her all her money and give away their money to charity and all this other stuff, right? It's actually a great plot. It makes great sense for the theme of the show. She ends up trapping Batman in one of the cells and then sets the hideout to detonate. But then she finds out that Barbara Gordon is also there because Barbara Gordon's been tailing Batman, which again also makes sense if you figure out, like, if you know the history of these characters. We know Barbara. I don't know if Barbara will become Batgirl in this show, and I don't think she has to. And honestly, I don't think they need a second season. Honestly, please, I don't make a second season. Please don't. Harley realizes this, but because she has a relationship with Barbara as Harleen Quinzel, she runs back in. The building blows up. We don't see what happens to Batman. Barbara and Harley are falling to their doom. Somehow Batman gets out of the cell he was in. We don't see it. Again, by the way, for a Batman show, I can't remember the last time we've had such little Batman in a Batman show. Batman swoops in, saves Barbara. Harley falls into the ocean. Now, she makes a phone call that makes you hint that she survived. But there's a lot of instances like this where you, don't see how Batman escapes, how he solves the puzzle, how he solves the riddle.
So he's not the greatest detective in this show.
And that's the thing. He's really, like, the best episode is the Clayface episode. Because that is Batman doing all the solving. Batman is doing all the work. It's a Batman cartoon. It's about Batman. It's supposed to be about Batman. It's not Gotham City Chronicles. If that was the case, then that's what it should have been called. Right? Because there's a lot of BS about the politics, about the cops, about this other stuff, and then Batman's in the episode for 3 minutes. Also, Matt Reeves, I don't know why he hates Alfred, but he does. He treated him like garbage in his film. He treats him worse here in the cartoon. Alfred is like another tool in the Batman's utility belt, and it's stupid. I hate the way they write it. I hate the way I hate so much. There's so much. There's 10 episodes. You guys don't understand. There's 10 episodes that I literally wrote. I wrote literally pages of notes while taking this about everything I hated about this show.
You'll have to publish those notes, right?
No.
Yes, if you follow us on LinkedIn, you can get the notes.
There's so much they could have done. This could have been so great. Again, they were so close, right? And then they pull out the bottom of the barrel some of these villains. Lee, have you ever heard of Nocturna?
No.
Nor should you have. Nocturna is a D-list villain from the 80s who, in the comics, she can teleport. That's her power, right? Here, they made her a vampire. And you know, I get it. They're trying to be cute. They're trying to be cute and trying to pay tributes and stuff. And the cuteness, all it does is it makes you a less serious story. It makes you a less serious cartoon. Either you're trying to be either you're trying to be campy or you're not. Pick a lane.
Right.
Pick a lane. Do you know the names of the 4 kids who the vampire steals to try to steal their energy?
No.
Dick Grayson,
Oh.
Jason Todd,
Oh.
Stephanie Brown, and Carrie Kelly, who, of course, at one time or another, were all Robins in the continuity. Cute. That's how you introduce, and they're all orphans. They're all orphans, by the way.
Easter eggs.
They're not even Easter eggs, though. It feels like you're trying to be too cute with some of this stuff.
What happened was someone in the room like, you know what'd be cool if this is who it was. You know what'd be great if that's what happened here. Again, I wish I knew how much thought went into these things and how dedicated these guys were to the project, or were they just doing the project? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just don't get the feeling like, or like you said, like, oh, we got to change things to make it relevant again. Just tell a good story. There's so much source material out there. I don't know why you got to do this.
Yeah.
You don't got to make something up. If you want to pull something out of the 80s, pull something out of the 80s.
Yeah.
Pull a story out of the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they had their moments. They really did. And and I'm sorry, folks, this has been a long, rambling rant, but it was a 10-episode season, and I binged it, and I regret that. Because, like, again, the Clayface episode, I think, was the best one. I think as a standalone, there's a couple of little things where I'm like, but they're forgivable. But there's something in every episode. You could say, oh, you could nitpick everything. And you're right. And as a critic, that's kind of what I do. But there's some really big things. And again, it comes down to inconsistency of characters, inconsistency in tone.
Right.
Right?
That's a problem.
And that's a problem.
That's a problem.
So I'm going to wrap this up saying don't watch Batman Cape Crusader, and saying there shouldn't be a season 2. Just the same way there thankfully will not be a season 2 of The Acolyte, because for the same reason, and not even really thankfully, again,
I'm not
good ideas, terrible execution.
Yeah, well, can we talk about The Acolyte real quick?
Yes, let's go into The Acolyte now, because like people are up in arms that they're canceling the 2nd season, but guys, this was a badly written show. It was good. We talked about it when the season ended. There were some good ideas here, but it was terribly written. It was bloated. The gimmicks were dumb. They did a repeat episode with episodes 3 and 7. Good ideas, awful execution. That seems to be the name of the game now, no matter what studio you work for. Lee, your thoughts?
Well, here's the deal. The cancellation of The Acolyte season 2. I'm actually okay with that terminology, because what you teased in the final episode of The Acolyte is what I actually wanted. I wanted a Darth Plagueis show. I wanted to see him raise Palpatine into the Sith Lord. If you were going to do a prequel of sorts into that story, show me the rise of Plagueis, because it is a fantastic story by which, again, Ray, the source material exists, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
The problem with The Acolyte, as you said, we already did a whole review on it, is it brought me to a place that I already knew existed. You did not surprise me with Yoda.
Yeah.
I was mildly surprised to see Plagueis.
Right.
All right. But that's the show I want. That was the show I wanted.
Yeah.
So now you're going over canceling The Acolyte. I really hope you're not canceling Darth Plagueis the Wise, because I actually wanted to see that. I think everybody wanted to see that. I think if you go on social media week by week, they're going towards Plagueis. They're going towards Plagueis. Everybody knew where you were going. You didn't shock anybody.
No.
That was the show we wanted.
Yeah.
This also isn't the first time that this has happened in television, where it's like they tease at the end. Here you go. And it's like, I want that show. I didn't need The Acolyte to bring me to that show. And that's why I couldn't stand on its own 2 feet, because that was their destination, was to get you to Plagueis for a season 2.
Right.
So, again, somebody asked me about that last episode, and I said, I didn't need a full episode tease to show me the show that I already wanted.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Again, they were trying to be cute in how they got there.
It's annoying.
Everything that happened in The Acolyte could have been 1 or 2 episodes, and then the rest of the season could have been about Plagueis. That's it.
I just didn't understand that they spent all of that money for absolutely really no good reason to bring me to that moment. I just didn't understand that. And I'm going to say it again. That was the show that I wanted, right? I had another, I can't remember right now, but there was another show, Ray, that teased something else. And I'm like, that's the show I wanted. And they both got canceled. Quantum Leap did the same thing. Hey, Sam Beckett's out there. Never brought him back. That's the show I wanted. Guaranteed you that show wouldn't get canceled if they brought back Scott Bakula. I also know that's probably very hard to do, to be fair. All right, but it's I don't know why we got to give this whole original take on it. No, you don't. It's the same reason the Joker doesn't need an origin story.
No.
All right? Just do the right thing.
It's amazing that people in Hollywood, writers, producers, directors, whenever they think, oh, we're going to be real smart about this, that ends up being the dumbest thing possible.
Yeah, you're not.
Again, this is real easy, folks. Don't do gimmicks. Don't get to the point when it comes to your writing. Don't get cute. Consistency in tone matters. Acolyte had that problem too, a real inconsistency in the tone throughout the series. And also, don't lie to your audience. Don't treat your audience like they're dumb. Batman did that. Batman did that sometimes. Acolyte did that sometimes.
Those days are definitely done.
Like, you don't talk that. Don't pretend. Don't be like, oh, this is going to be like Star Wars True Detective. And then after the first half hour of the first episode, you completely drop that premise. Right. Because that was about how long that lasted. As soon as Soul found the good twin, I can't remember her freaking name anymore.
Osha.
That whole premise got dropped. Like don't oversell what you have.
The other thing too is don't tell me this is an original story with no cameos and then have 2 cameos at the end. Like, and again, Yoda is not a mic drop moment like Luke was. I just didn't understand. I didn't understand where they were going with this.
Yeah, no, it's again, don't treat the audience like they're idiots.
Yeah. So Acolyte canceled for season 2. I'm hoping Plagueis is not canceled, but we will see. They have plenty of time with that. Yeah. Oh, the other one, Ray. Yes, sorry. I do remember. There's also Star Wars is introducing the live-action Darth Maul back into the movie Solo, which wasn't that bad. That movie has always got panned for no reason.
No, I never understood.
We know that nobody understood it. They introduced a live-action Darth Maul and the head of the crime syndicate, and then they just ignored that too. It's a loophole that everybody wanted. Everybody wants that story. Now they're going to tell you they told that story in Clone Wars and Rebels and all these things, which is not unfair. Okay, but it's like, come on, guys.
Give it to us in live action. Like, I mean, honestly, though, I'm curious. I wonder if I wonder if we're going to get a lot of that in Outlaws next week.
I really hope so, buddy, because people love Darth Maul. That character has aged very well.
Yes.
Right? People thought it was ridiculous when they brought him back, and it's done well. One of the most iconic scenes in Star Wars now is the final Obi-Wan versus Maul fight, which I will not spoil for you. If you're not sure, go search Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Maul final fight. It's one of the greatest fights, and if you can find the explanation of the fight, you'll understand why.
Yeah. I know. I know why it's great. Specifically with how Obi-Wan starts and how Obi-Wan finishes.
It's the psychology of the scene being written without words, telling an entire story of a trilogy in a reasonable amount of time.
Yes, a very quick amount of time. Yeah, for sure. Oh, goodness
gracious me.
Yes. So one last thing, one big story. Gamescom is going on as we speak right now, which is now really the last big video game convention with E3 gone. This is in Europe every year, in Cologne, Germany. I've been several times. It is a fantastic show. It's not easy to get into if you're not press, or live in Europe. So, but it's a fantastic show. Some big announcements that came out of the show. Borderlands 4.
Yeah,
Borderlands 4. I mean, I really wonder. A part of me wonders if they took that Hollywood check for the IP for the movie, that horrible movie, and then we're like, okay, cool, we got some funds now. We're gonna make a new video game so we can make some real money. So that got announced. That's from 2K. 2K also announced Mafia: The Old Country.
Interesting. I could see your excitement about this one, Ray.
This is I'm very curious. I like the Mafia games from 2K. If you haven't played, I think the remake of the original is on Game Pass right now. But this is gonna be Mafia set a couple hundred years ago, very early in the days of the Mafia in Italy. So you're
Assassin's Creed. Let's be honest about it.
That's really what it is. It's Assassin's Creed.
It's Assassin's Creed without being able to jump off tall buildings into a haystack.
Pretty much, yeah.
That looks great.
So far the tease looked very interesting. I'm very much excited for that. Indiana Jones got a release date. Actually, several things got released that I'm excited about. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle got a release date. Actually, let me pull this up real quick.
And coming to PlayStation as well.
That is a big deal. That it's only going to be about 6 months exclusive to Xbox. They are not going to. They originally they said they were going to hold on to it, and now Microsoft's like, we like money. Money.
How about also? It's like movies are only in theaters for 2 weeks. You don't need to be excluded. If you're going to get it day one, you're going to get it day one. Why would you exclude? Hopefully, PlayStation can learn from this too.
Yes.
How much money Sony would get if they put Spider-Man on Xbox?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I don't know why they don't do it.
Yeah, it's
in the same fashion. Excuse me. I understand it's like to sell consoles, but like you've already got the console now, so now's the time to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. December 9th is the release date for Indiana Jones. So also December 6th, Marvel Rivals. I've played this. This is basically going to be an Overwatch killer. This is basically Overwatch with all the Marvel superheroes. And I'll say this: I've played it. It's fun, folks. It's a lot of fun. If you like Overwatch, if you like hero shooters, I think the stuff that they add on top of what like Overwatch walked so this game could run.
Mm-hmm.
Like the destructible environments, the hero powers, the verticality with heroes that can fly like Iron Man and Storm. This adds a whole new level to things in a really, really great way. I'm looking forward to the full 1.0 release on December the 6th. So another game that I'm actually very curious about called Unknown 9 is coming out October the 18th. That got announced. I'm looking forward to that. That looks like a third-person action adventure with kind of looks almost like you have like your soul, like you fight alongside. Like your soul can almost like leave your body, and you can fight alongside you, which looks fascinating. I'm curious. I want to play this.
That's kind of like that game with the guy and his wife ghost.
Almost a little bit. A little bit.
You like that story?
I like that one. I like that one. Yeah, I like ghosts. I'm Ghostbuster. So
he literally is. People look at his profile picture.
Yeah. Starfield announces the Shattered Space DLC. Next big well, really the first big addition to that game, September 30th. And also now they're giving you well, basically rovers. I was going to say lunar rovers, but really they can kind of planet rovers, I guess, right? So you can drive around on all the planets in that. So they're adding that as well. That's coming out the 30th. So some big announcements in that regard in terms of release dates. I don't know if I'm going to get this. I don't know if I'm going to get the Starfield DLC.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need. I don't know much more they can add to that game.
Yeah. So I'm kind of just like, nah. I was kind of good. I was really just good with the experience after I beat it the first time. I know there are some people who are going to be absolutely chomping at the bit for this, and good for them. I don't think I'm one of them. So
yeah,
yeah. So a couple of big announcements, and this is an interesting one. I'm actually very excited about this on the TV front. And speaking of Amazon Prime, a show called Secret Level was announced, which is going to be an anthology show.
Yeah, about video games.
It's about basically every episode is going to be, I guess, a half-hour cinematic episode based in different game universes, fleshing out different stories and characters. So they already said one episode is going to be on God of War, one episode is going to be on Mega Man, one episode is going to be on Warhammer, one episode is going to be on
they got you on the Mega Man one, didn't they?
Oh yeah. I may not watch this whole series, but I will watch the Mega Man episode as soon as that drops.
Right.
Yeah, and just to see, like, because these guys, like the guys who make it, like specialize in video game cinematics, and they're just like, why don't we just make a show out of cinematics? And that's what they're doing. So it's called The Secret Level. It's coming to Amazon Prime also in December, and I will watch at least several episodes of that. Probably the God of War one, probably the Mega Man one. There was also one for Sifu, which I was kind of surprised by, which that was a martial arts game that came out last year. Very difficult martial arts style game, but it was a really interesting mechanic.
This is thinking outside the box in a good way, like diving in, giving people what they want. That's going to do well, I think.
I agree. I think it's going to be a great, and also the director who broke down on stage talking about how passionate he was with this project. Good on him. Good on him to do that. We don't get enough of that. I think we get bits and pieces here or there. We don't get enough of that in games where people really just show, especially at a show like a Gamescom where they're like, oh, here's all our announcements. There are so many passionate people in this industry.
Oh, I agree with you, Ray.
Yeah. And it was good to see him.
But you heard about the guy on Deadpool and Wolverine who cried when Hugh Jackman came out in the costume.
Yeah.
And his son's name is Logan. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
And here he is. He's been working with Hugh Jackman for years, and he's in the Wolverine suit. Like, yeah. Look, yes, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal, but this stuff matters to people. They're passionate. It's art. It's art to them. You know, it's like, if someone looks at a painting and cries, and people, it's art. Someone looks at Hugh Jackman in a yellow and blue suit that we've been waiting 40 years to see, and it's ridiculous. Not cool.
Yeah, don't get it. But no, good on him for showing the passion for that. And and that was Gamescom. So not a lot of announcements, but some interesting ones. And looking forward to see what happens. It's gonna be a very busy. Oh, that too. That's also, this happened before Gamescom, but Dragon Age 4 is dropping on Halloween. That is official. Folks. Dragon Age. I mean, really quickly, do you know why I need a job, folks? Do you know why I need a job?
Because you're an irritable schmuck who yells at everybody and can't work well with others?
No, that's why I don't need a job. That's why I shouldn't have a job.
I'm sorry, Ray. I immediately regret saying those words.
No, it's okay. This is just the stuff that I'm thinking of getting, or some of it I will get. Star Wars Outlaws. That's on the 30th. The Prince of Persia Mask of Darkness DLC. The Prince of Persia game that came out earlier this year was fantastic. That DLC is at top of my list. That's coming out sometime in September. We've got Astrobot for PlayStation. We've got Legend of Zelda. We've got the Mortal Kombat new story DLC, Chaos Reigns. That's in September. We've got Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. That's in December. Starfield Shattered Space DLC. That's in, I keep saying December. September. Those are September's releases. Super Mario Party in October. Unknown 9 in October. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed, end of October. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, October 25th. Sonic Shadow Generations, October. Dragon Age, Halloween. Assassin's Creed Shadow, middle November. Bounty Star, The Morose Tale of Graveyard Clem, hopefully out in December. At least last I heard. Marvel Rivals, December. Indiana Jones in December. Folks, that's a lot of video games at $70 a pop. Even the DLC is probably going to be $20 a pop. Please donate to Geeks Who Like Sports if you can. Or at the very least, again, like, share, subscribe, follow. It all helps. But yeah, a lot of games coming out, Lee. A lot of games.
Yeah, it makes Ray happy. More games makes Ray happy. When Ray's more happy, our episodes are better. When our episodes are better, we get more listeners. When we get more listeners, we get more sponsors. When we get more sponsors, we get more money. And we get more money, we can do more productions. When we get more productions, you get more geeks. And when you get more geeks, you get more chances to win Madden, EA Sports, NFL 24. Make sure you go to our YouTube and Instagram to get your code today. Follow, comment, like, add number 2, cut it Savi, microclip, did it again, and we're out.
Excellent. Yeah, so that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it for us here at Geeks Who Like Sports. No mashup.
That was a perfect ending. I did a perfect
ending. That was pretty much, yeah. No mashup this week because the episode's dropping a little bit later than normal.
You want to do a mashup? Mashup.
No, I don't think we'll do a mashup this week because then if we get back into a regular schedule next week.
All right, I'll make a deal with you. If we don't do a mashup, then you have to have coffee before our next mashup.
I mean, I've been drinking coffee the whole episode.
Oh my God, Ray, what is wrong with you? Everybody, if you see a Ray If someone can cue up in the arms of the angels, Ray needs your help too. A tired Ray helps no one.
Sometimes when you're tired, sometimes coffee's what you need. Sometimes it doesn't matter how much coffee you have.
It doesn't matter. I've the best nap though is a nappuccino. You drink the coffee, you lay down, 25 minutes, awake, alert, aware, ready to kick the pants off the day, whenever time of day it is. Unless you got a bad boss, then it can be tough.
Yeah, it'll be very tough. Also, for those who don't know, that's me crushing a water bottle. I've learned that if you crush a water bottle and people don't just expect it, it kind of bothers them, and I kind of take a little bit of joy.
You've done that around me, and I was like, oh, that's just rage that needed to go somewhere.
No, and that's all for me. That's what it is for me. That it's like, you gotta let me crush the water bottles, folks. You gotta let me. Like, I do it on my streams all the time, and people are like, oh,
what was that?
Yeah, people. No, I need to get this energy out, folks. I need to get it out somehow.
Ray, this is a recycling ad. Ray saves space by crushing water bottles, taking the space inside and putting them outside.
They do tell you at the recycling center, they do prefer it when you crush the water bottles.
Of course they do. It's less space.
Exactly. Although the price of plastic is down, which stinks. But it also makes sense because there's so much of it. Because yes, folks, when I'm poor, I bring all my stuff to the recycling center.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing wrong with that. You gotta live, man.
Get my bucks back.
We gotta do the show, right?
Got to do the show. We can't survive on recycling money alone, folks.
Help a Ray in need. Dial 1-800-MIX-A-LOT and kick them nasty thoughts. Baby got back.
He got back.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's a perfect place to end the show, everybody.
Yes, we are definitely. Hopefully, we're ending with more cringe. All right, we've come full circle. Now I'm starting to wake up.
Now I'm starting to wake up. All right, back to the top.
Let's do it again. Take two. All right. Anyway, folks, thank you for dealing with all my ramblings and whatnot today, and thank you for dealing with us. We always appreciate it. We really do hope you enjoyed the show. As Lee said, be sure to follow us on all the socials for more chances to win a copy of Madden NFL 25 and College Football 25 for Xbox Series X. It is the Xbox version of the game. And yeah, so yeah, for Lee, I'm Ray, and this has been another edition of Geeks Who Like Sports. See you all next week, everybody.
Adios, amigos y amigas.